but we have to discuss that the goalkeepers we are talking about, we see all modern coaches, they want to play out from the back, and the goalkeeper is suddenly the Franz Beckenbauer of football now lately. And now we say, if they do one big mistake, keep it away from them. I mean, it doesn't add up, does it?
I would suggest that that is the perfect scenario, that all the teams in the Premier League or the top teams have two fantastic goalkeepers. That isn't possible. It's not always possible. You know, Liverpool have been lucky with Kelleher that he's come through. Then they've signed the guy who's coming next week, Kashvili.
Kashvili.
So I think that is more to do with it's just so happened that there's 2 or 3 teams that have got 2 proper goalkeepers. Not everybody can do that. They just can't do it.
Why?
Well, because number one, if you're a decent goalkeeper, you aren't going to go to Tottenham when they've got the number 1 goalkeeper, and you know you're going to sit on the bench, unless you're a young guy who's coming through.
What's the difference on the pitch?
Otherwise, you're not going.
What's the difference?
What's the difference with what?
For striker, a young striker shouldn't go to Liverpool because Salah is playing all the time. Then.
No,
a young striker will go.
You're not being fair. You're not being fair. You know that if you're a goalkeeper, it's a different matter and chances to, in a way that you cannot play every game. If you're a second goalkeeper, you're going to be on the bench for the season. Where if you're another striker, you will have the chance to come on for different reasons. So you cannot compare that positioning, especially goalkeeper. It's a very specific positioning, and being a second goalkeeper doesn't give you a chance to operate, and that's what it is. And it's why I agree with Stevie. If you're decent, if you're a good goalkeeper, you're not going to go on the bench, even if it's for Spurs or even Liverpool.
Well, I'm son of a referee, and I will probably then should defend the referees. And I will defend the referee here because I don't think he's even close to a foul, Frank, in all due respect. I think that Bergwall is 12 years of age, and the goalkeeper of Manchester United, he got gloves, he can run in there. That is a big, big keeper mistake. And I don't think the rule, Frank, is if a keeper is in the air, you can't touch him. There is nuances to that rule.
You know, Frank, I'm with Jan.
Okay.
You know, I think Bergwall's above the goalkeeper, and so to me, it's on the goalkeeper to make sure that he doesn't make contact with Bergwall. I don't believe that Bergwall has tried to make contact with the goalkeeper, and so the goalkeeper for me is slow to react, slow to go towards the ball, and gets caught underneath, and so it's his fault. And he missed his punch. He actually had a chance to punch it as well. So he's got there second, and he's missed his punch. For me, it's a goal.
Obviously, we talked a lot about Spurs so far. Let's talk about Manchester United. I want to talk to you about what stood out today. And I want to start by talking about Lisandro Martinez as well with you, Stevie. You knew
You're trying to get me in trouble.
You knew it was coming. You've had a few choice words.
Well, he had a poor game. You know, he got an assist for one of the goals. You know, he does what he does. He makes rash challenges. He dives in. And sometimes he gets it, and sometimes he doesn't. I mean, you know, you're not quite sure what you're going to get with him, and that's the problem, I think, generally with Manchester United. And I know they made a lot of changes again, and I know when you keep making changes, it's hard to get a flow. At times, United looked on the break. I was going to say pretty good, but let's be honest. In the final third, they're desperate. As I said, the third goal is down to them, but the first 2 has nothing to do with Manchester United going forward. In the final third, they are extremely poor, are not quite sure what they're doing, don't really seem to create an awful lot. So they right now are, well, they're getting a free run at it. Amorim's getting a free run at it because, quite frankly, they're miles off the pace. And they've got beaten by a Tottenham side who also are pretty far off the pace as well.
Jan, United.
Well, Manchester United, sometimes I'm thinking when Amorim, if he could start now to get them to a semi-final, to get it to a final, put your best team out there, that is one thing. But I still think that Amorim, what he will do this season, I don't think, to be honest, what should the Manchester United fans expect? They could have a trip to Wembley. That's gone now for this time. In terms of Martinez, I think that sometimes we are too clear on his lack of height. But I think it's more, when he is bad, it's more lack of presence out there. I've seen a lot of good defenders, maybe not that small, but in that kind of small kind of group of defenders. And I think sometimes he lacked that presence out there. And you have a Maguire who is different, but still he got that presence out there. And for a striker, it's harder to play against strike or defenders who have that presence. It's on you all the time. You always expect Martinez to do something silly.
Do you agree with that, Frank, that he lacks the presence that would be needed in his position?
Sometimes I can feel it. I praised him last time I was in the show when he had the ball. When offensively he has the ball, he's very interesting. But defensively, sometimes he has to show himself as he's a world champion, to how to manage and to leadership, to show the leadership in the middle of the defense. And for example, the second goal, it's always like he has the time for everything. It's always like he wants to sort it in a technical way, where sometimes you have to show emergency and kick the ball away in the stand. And he should have turned, and instead of taking his left outside of the foot, he should have kicked the ball with the right inside of the foot, and it would have been better. And he would have shown his ability to see the urgency of the kick out, and that's what it is. But there are so many other things that we can say about United today. I mean, I'm very against the fact that you put Fernandes on the left side because you want to put Eriksen in the middle of the park. I mean, Fernandes was completely inexistent in the first half. And when he went back, when Eriksen was substituted, when he went back in the middle of the park, it was more useful. Yeah, he came with the Foster's mistakes, but it was more useful in the center to lead the Manchester United game. But there was so many bad thing that I saw today again from Manchester United, maybe because Amorim wanted to rotate his team. Diallo cannot be on the bench for any game right now. That guy is a game changer, and they're desperate to have him every game. And we saw it again today, how important he is when he's on the field.
Jan, do you want to follow up there?
Yeah, a good point with Diallo. I think that kind of players, very contagious, in a lack of a better word, because when he is on, there is speed, there is energy, there is intensity. And I'm just going back to my main point. Why doesn't he then play in a quarterfinal? You are one game, if you win there, you're one game away from Wembley, a day out for the fans. You can win a title, and you can talk a lot about how you want to play, how you want to put out the structure on and off the pitch. But for Manchester United, it's all about winning titles. That was kept, so to say, Ten Hag alive for a while, to winning titles. And now you see with Tottenham in the semi-final, they are close to something. Postecoglou can go on his tradition of, in the second year, still the hope for winning a title. So I think that sometimes when I do this kind of rotation, I don't get it. Because I still think that you have to have your best players out there, the best players in form. And as Frank is saying, Diallo is one of those that need to be on the pitch now for Manchester United every time they play.